Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to DCTV, where I'm your host, Drew Collins, bringing you all sports-related news in the greater Cincinnati area. If you're new around here, make sure to stick around by hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like, and commenting future video ideas down below. Now let's get into today's video. Jonah Williams is a left tackle out of Alabama University. Some would call it Roll Tide. He was last year's first-round pick for the Cincinnati Bengals at pick 11, so he was highly anticipated, and people were ready for him to come in and make a huge impact day one. And he never got to make that impact because he got injured before the season even started. He's a 6'4", 305-pound so-called film junkie throughout his whole life, so he watches a lot of film, and he knows he's a good leader and everything. But unfortunately, on June 25th, 2019, Jonah would unfortunately go a shoulder surgery, some ligaments or something like that, that would, end the season before it could even start. So this highly anticipated rookie that was going to make a huge impact, first round pick, 11th pick in the entire NFL draft, season didn't even start, didn't even play a single snap in the NFL. Technically, my books, this is his rookie season this year, and I do think he'll be putting up a lot of big numbers for the Bengals, and I think he's going to be a leader right away on this offensive line, who personally I really don't think has one and hasn't had one since Andrew Whitworth was let go in free agency. Obviously, the injury was very unfortunate, and it sucks to have it so early in his career, but I believe he was only 22, and I believe he still is. He's about to be 23 years old, so he's still really young. And honestly, looking back at it, it was really good that he got that done and over with. And now these next few years, you can just focus on football, getting better, and just becoming a star for the Bengals. Jonah would grow up in Atlanta, but would continue his high school career in California, and he would end up becoming a 4-star recruit, and he had all the top choice. Jonah Williams would grow up in Atlanta, but would then play high school in California. And he ended up being a 4-star recruit in high school, and he had a bunch of top-tier football programs to get him to the next level, Michigan, Florida, and a whole bunch of others. But at the end of the day, he would go to the Roll Tide, to Alabama, and can you really blame him? Jonah was a beast in college. He was very solid his entire college career, from when he first stepped on the field to when he left to go to the NFL draft. He has anything from a college football championship ring to a 2-time all-first team SEC player, and I believe a second team his third year, or his first year out of the 3 years. So each year he was phenomenal and played great for Alabama, and that's why I think he's a ultimately impact player, day one ready player, if he can stay healthy for the Bengals, just like he was for Alabama. Being a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid and dominating top tier talent that Alabama has to play is really impressive, and I think that was the big reasons why some people call it, will say the Bengals reached for a lineman. Call it that or not, only time will tell. I believe that was a big deciding factor why the Bengals chose him. He then would have good draft workouts, so he had great college stats and good workout. Put those two things together, his stock rose even more. He was probably a top 3 best lineman in the entire draft, if not the best. That's why he got chosen early and fell to the Bengals. Some people say he reached, some people say he didn't. I believe only time will tell. All I know is that was one of the Bengals' biggest needs. I still believe it still is. And so they took him when they had the best chance to get the best player on the board. Now we're back up to today's world, a little bit of background information, where he came from, and why he got to where he is now. I'm going to get into the title of today's video, and really being, why I think he'll be an outbreak player and why he could be a Pro Bowler sooner than later. The Bengals haven't had a leader on that old line since Whitworth left. And Jonah Williams has already been making big moves even as he's been injured. I'm sure as he's a so-called film junkie, he's been doing that already in his career, even though he hasn't stepped on the field. He's doing a lot of training with a lot of top talent players like Joe Staley and a bunch of others that, are going to help him. You don't just have a lot of young players work with mentors that are going to be NFL legends or Hall of Famers one day. And I think that's on the right track. You can obviously tell that he's very focused on football, and football is his job, but then he also has that off-field mentality, which is good to have that switch to flip on and off that you like to see in players. I believe he's very mature for how young of an age he was. I mean, like I said earlier, how he would be 19, around that age, playing in Alabama, starting a football game. He's still really young, he has good size, and I don't think I've ever had a player, get negative contractions for being a film junkie. especially an offensive lineman. You know, like sure that film isn't as much as fun as a wide receiver or corner. So yeah, I mean, there's just so much upside for the kid. As long as he can stay injured, I think he truly can be that leader that the Bengals need. And usually on teams, when they get that so-called captain, you know, get that C on that jersey, or they really just become that leader player that, you know, even fans know that team has that one, and the people inside the locker room know it. That player tends to get a boost in performance, and I believe that's what we could see here with him. I just think he could be a player that can step up and take over and say, hey, this is my offensive line, and guys, come on, huddle around, you know, we can do this together. Honestly, this is all assumptions and what my beliefs are, but that's why, you know, I'm making this video. I do believe that he can do this, and I'm excited to watch him this year, because if it does happen, I told you so, because he has so much upside and such a bright future. But I think a lot of players, you know, it doesn't take time for them to be good. You know, most people it does, but when you're drafted this, you know, high, and you're this highly anticipated, and, you know, people are ready to get you on the field, I think he's going to be a monster on the field. And I'm here to watch it. I think he can finally be he can be that glue person on that offensive line, that one person you can count on. And, you know, once you have that one player, usually everybody else follows in line. And I hope this is the case. Another reason I believe that he'll get everyone on check is because ultimately the Bengals have a really young roster now, at least players who are going to be getting playing time. There's a lot of young players that are going to be getting a lot of playing time, and he's one of them. But I believe he's going to be one of the ones that are going to step up and be a leader, like I said. I mean, young quarterback, young running back, you know, offensive line that's decently young. You know, young defense that's really young. So I just believe he can be one of the guys that step up and, you know, take over. And that's what I'm hoping. I don't know if they're going to be counting this as his rookie season. I would assume so, since he didn't take a single snap last year. But in my eyes, he's not a rookie. So if you guys are new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and comment future video ideas below, or just comment on this topic and, you know, tell me what you think. What kind of year do you think he'll have? How many sacks do you think he'll give up? I saw some things where they kind of questioned if he was going to be a starter, and I just kind of laughed. Do you think the Bengals spent a first-round draft pick, the 11th pick in the NFL draft, for him to come in and be on the bench and learn? Not with this roster, not with this offense line we have at the time. So he's going to be a starter, and I believe he's going to be a star pretty quickly. But that's going to be about it for everything. Make sure you guys stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah. I think about you all day, and at night I watch the stars shoot. I know love is not a game, but I can't control with my heart. I fucked up so many times, I know you thinking